Close Sunday. Call 724-564-2696.
Your local station, WMBS. It's 8:22. The following program was recorded for playback at this time.
All content is for information purposes only, is not intended to provide any tax or legal advice or provide the basis for any financial decisions, nor is it intended to be a projection of current or future performance or indication of future results. Opinions expressed are solely those of Gary Boatman and staff. The information discussed has been derived from sources believed to be reliable but is not guaranteed as to the accuracy and completeness and does not purport to be a complete analysis of the materials discussed. The information contained herein should in no way be construed or interpreted as a solicitation to sell or offer to sell advisory services to any residents of any state other than the state of Pennsylvania or otherwise legally permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Purchases are subject to suitability. This requires a review of investors' objective risk tolerance and time horizons. Investing always involves risk and possible loss of capital. Advisory services offered through Boatman Wealth Management, LLC, an investment advisor in the state of Pennsylvania.
Good morning and welcome to Your Financial Future. I'm certified financial planner Gary Boatman, and I want to wish all of our listeners happy anniversary, America, 250 years ago today. Unbelievable, right? Many of us can remember 50 years ago, hard to believe, but when we had the 200th anniversary. Think how much has changed during that time. We didn't know what the internet was. We didn't know what cell phones were. Not even sure cable TV was very big back then, right? Computers were starting to come up. The world has really changed in that time. The population of the country has gone up, and certainly the national debt has exploded. So there are many challenges today, but we are going to celebrate. We're going to have some fun facts. Today, there's a ton of picnics, all kinds of things to do. We got to talk about safety. We want your family to be safe. The goal at Boatman Wealth Management is to help make your financial future the best so that your family can have the best life possible, obviously not having accidents. Fortunately, there's going to be a lot of alcohol consumed today, so please do not drink and drive. The police are going to be out in heavy patrols. The fines are terrible, but even worse than that is if you would hit somebody and hurt someone. So be careful what you do and use common sense. There's going to be a lot of grilling today. I saw something we don't think about. Sometimes you see grill cleaning brushes, those little wire brushes. They still are out there, some, not quite as much as they were. But I saw a warning where sometimes people scrape their grill with those, and especially the cheaper ones, the little copper spindles of wire can get stuck to your grill, and you don't realize that they're fairly small. And so you put a hamburger on the grill, and it could get embedded in the patty, and there has been some cases where people have gotten hurt biting into that. So be very careful that you cleaned your grill. Obviously, when the weather gets warm, things like potato salad and that, you need to keep cool. You need to keep refrigerated. We don't want anybody getting sick from food spoiling, cheeses, and different things like that. So we want to use a lot of common sense. We want to have fun today. We want to celebrate it. And there's a lot to do. We've come a long ways in 250 years. A couple years ago, I was over in Europe, and I was going through Scotland, and I went into a church that was twice as old as the country. It's hard to believe how much younger we are than many other areas. But, hey, it's come a long ways, and it's come a long ways that we can remember in the last 50 years. Let's have some fun facts about that maybe you don't know about today. Why is the 4th of July? Why is this the day that we celebrate? Maybe a few things that we've got a little bit wrong in history. Most Americans assume that the colonies voted for independence on July 4th, 1776. In reality, The Continental Congress approved the resolution for independence on July 2nd, not on July 4th. July 4th was the day that Congress approved the final wording of the Declaration of Independence. So we know Thomas Jefferson is considered one of the main authors of it. They all contributed, but actually the vote was on July 2nd, not July 4th, but July 4th was the day that they approved the Declaration of Independence from England. So John Adams was so sure that July 2nd would become America's national holiday that he wrote his wife Abigail predicting future generations would celebrate it with fireworks and festivities. He just missed by 2 days. So John Adams was an important part of the history, but he didn't know all of it. So that was a fact that I was doing a little research for today. I wanted some fun things to talk about as we celebrate this. It's a fantastic day for our country. We all come together to celebrate. There's going to be all kinds of things, but sometimes we don't have all the facts. At my workshops, I often pose the question, warning, chocolate will make your clothes shrink. And that comes up on the screen, and it always gets gets people nodding and saying, yeah, they like that. And after a few seconds, I ask them if it's true, and a lot of people are shaking their head yes and agreeing it's true. I tell them it's not exactly true. If you eat too much chocolate, your clothes will get tighter, but it's not the clothes getting smaller. So you got to know what the real problem is whenever you're going to solve it, whether it's a financial issue or if it's the sweeper doesn't work. You've got to see what really works, and you want to look for the easiest solution first. If the sweeper doesn't work, maybe it's not plugged in. Maybe the circuit breaker popped, right? We help make your finances easier at Boatman Wealth Management. So we're not in the office today. We're celebrating like all of you, but you can leave us a message, and we'll be in Monday, 724-684-6600. Here's another fun fact. Most delegates did not sign the Declaration of Independence on July 4th. The famous painting showing all the founding fathers signing together at once is largely a myth. Most delegates actually signed the Declaration on August 2nd, as I previously mentioned. Some even signed it later. They weren't there. The Declaration wasn't signed in one dramatic moment. It took weeks. And some delegates were still adding their signature months later. So there's very few problems that can be solved in one day. And you have to work on it. If you're trying to make change in your life, whether it's financial or anything else, you've got to do it in bites. There's the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the classic answer is one bite at a time. So if you need to improve your financial future, look for little steps. Not sure what to do? Give me a call at 724-684-6600. Let's take a break for some music right now, and we'll be right back.
As America celebrates 250 years of independence, Gary Boatman of Boatman Wealth Management asks, isn't it time to celebrate your financial independence too? That's what Gary Boatman has done for Western Pennsylvania for 35 years as a certified financial planner. He has helped thousands of families. Let him help you make your family's retirement the best it can be. Author and radio host of Your Financial Future, Gary can help you reduce your lifetime taxes and reduce the stress of market volatility with a guaranteed lifetime income that you can't outlive. He can also help you maximize your Social Security benefits and show you ways to reduce your out-of-pocket health care benefits. Call Boatman Wealth Management at 724-684-6600. This Independence Day, celebrate more than America's freedom. Celebrate your own financial independence by calling Boatman Wealth Management at 724-684-6600.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm certified financial planner Gary Boatman. We don't usually have music in our show, but I thought there's a few really good songs that I enjoy, and I think most of you do, and it's a day of celebration for the whole country. There's a lot of differences. We need to put them all together today, and we need to celebrate. We can start dealing with them again tomorrow, but let's enjoy today and what all it's brought us. You know, we're the best country in the world. We have our share of problems, everybody does, but we're the best in the world, right? And so let's celebrate for it. I'll tell you an interesting fact that you may not know. 3 presidents have died on Independence Day. 2 of them were founding fathers who later became presidents, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Both died on July 4th, 1826, exactly 50 years from today. That's John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. They made it 50 more years, so they made it to the 50th anniversary of what they signed. 5 years later, another president, James Monroe, also died on July 4th. So that's pretty amazing. 3 of our earliest presidents died on July 4th in 55 years. That's something, isn't it? Let's have another bonus fact. The Liberty Bell probably did not ring on July 4th, 1776. Historians believe it was more likely rung several days later when the Declaration of was publicly read to the citizens of Philadelphia. They went, Philadelphia was the early capital. Independence Hall is in Philadelphia, right? And when the 4 founders, they did most of it on the 2nd, but they had to finish up their work on the 4th of July, and they went out and they read it publicly, and then they struck the Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell is something, I've been down there to visit it in Philadelphia, and there's a lot of great history that you can visit, and this area was very big. We know that Washington was in this area during the war a lot, and everything about it. So, I think those are some interesting facts. Let's talk a little bit about financial facts then. And how much do you think the average person earned per year? In 1776, most Americans were farmers, craftsmen, and laborers. A typical worker might earn the equivalent of 20 to 30 cents per day. 20 or 30 cents per day. And the annual income for many families was roughly $70 to $100 a year. Isn't that amazing? When America declared independence, the average worker earned in an entire year what many Americans today spend on dinner one time. That's how things have grown in 250 years. I mentioned about the 200 that many of us can remember. Think how much lower prices were back then. You know, I can remember when gasoline, they used to put 9/10 cents up on there. They don't do that anymore, right? But for years, it was 29.9, under 30 cents a gallon. I can remember price wars between some off-brand gas stations that were 23.9. And, cars back 50 years ago were a lot less. But let's talk about in the colonial times. A house could cost less than $500. Now, cost that to buy a couple gallons of paint to paint in there, right? Land was abundant and housing was much simpler. A modest house in many colonial communities might be $200 to $500. Remember, you're only making $70 to $100 a year, while farmland could be purchased for a few dollars per acre. A colonial family could buy a home for less than the cost of a modern refrigerator. But remember, there was no electricity, plumbing, central heating, and of course, no internet. Even 50 years ago, the internet wasn't really there, right? So, what types of financial problems did people deal with back then? Well, the national debt, surprisingly, was one of America's first financial problems. The Revolutionary War was expensive. By the end of the war, the young nation had accumulated a debt of roughly 75 million. You know, 75 million, the government spends that in a nanosecond today, right? An enormous amount at the time. The new government struggled to pay soldiers and creditors until leaders like Alexander Hamilton developed a plan to stabilize the nation's finances. America was born in debt. One of the greatest challenges facing the new nation is how to pay its bills. Let's compare a few fun facts, 1776 to today. Average annual income, we said, was $70 to $100 a year. Today, it's $65,000 to $80,000. A new home back then was $200 to $500. Today, many cities' starter homes are close to $400,000. Federal debt was virtually zero before the Revolutionary War, but about 75 million after. Today, it's 36 trillion with a T, not a billion. Think how much that has gone up. And life expectancy. Back in 1776, life expectancy was only 38 to 40 years at birth. Today, it's 77 to 79. And people, our listeners who have attained 65, 70, many of them are going to live into their 90s or 100. There's over 100,000 people in the country that are over 100 today. That's why you need to make sure that you have your finances in control. You need to make sure that you have an income you can't outlive. You need to, when you're making Social Security decisions, when to start in that you're maximizing the opportunity for your family. You need to keep your taxes through tax planning as low as possible, your lifetime taxes. With all of that debt, taxes are going to go up in the future. They're probably not going to go up through the next year or two, but they are going to go up at some time. So you need to make sure that you have a financial plan. That's what we do every day at Boatman Wealth Management. We're not in the office today. We're out celebrating just like you are, but we are offering a way to help you declare your financial independence by taking advantage of our no-cost, no-obligation strategy session by calling 724-684-6600. The Founding Fathers pledged their lives, fortune, and sacred honor to create a new nation. 250 years later, perhaps the modern version of that challenge is achieving financial independence. Make sure your own lives, fortune, and legacies are secured for the future generations of your family and the nation. Let's take a short break here, and we'll be right back.
For 250 years, Americans have valued freedom. Let Gary Boatman of Boatman Wealth Management help make financial freedom a part of your legacy. If you are a teacher or anyone else who is planning to retire, it is important to know all of your retirement options. Most financial advisors are not retirement specialists like Gary Boatman and those at Boatman Wealth Management. Some financial advisors may not have all of the options available to make your retirement the best it can be. Gary Boatman, author and radio host of Your Financial Future, can help you develop a holistic plan to tie all the important parts of your financial life together. Do your homework and call Boatman Wealth Management at 724-684-6600. The Declaration of Independence changed the nation. A financial plan can change your financial future. Make your retirement the best it can be and call Boatman Wealth Management at 724-684-6600.
Good morning and welcome back. I'm certified financial planner Gary Boatman. We're celebrating the nation's birthday. Those were some fun and interesting facts, I think. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying today's show. And let's take a break now and listen to one more song, one more patriotic song. These are some of my favorite songs. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. American girls and American guys, we'll always stand up and salute. We'll always recognize when we see old glory flying. There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night when we lay down our head. My daddy served in the army, where he lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in our yard till the day that he died. He wanted my mother, my brother, my sister, and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free. Now this nation that I love is falling under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying in from somewhere in the back. Soon as we could see clearly through our big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist, and the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be here when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. justice will be served and the battle will rage. This big dog will fight when you rattle his cage. And you'll be sorry that you mess with the U.S. of A. 'Cause we'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list. And the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And the eagle will fly, and it's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell. And it'll feel like the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Of the red, white, and blue. Of my red, white, and
Yeah, those songs sound great on all days, but especially on a day like today. And so, as we're all celebrating, I'm out celebrating just like you are. And the nation has 250th birthday. That's quite a milestone. We want to make the rest of our lives the best they can be financially. And that's one of the goals of our show here today. I'd mentioned earlier in the show, right now, voting is going on for the best in Fayette. Last year, with your support, we were voted the best financial planner in Fayette. We're asking for your support again. If you go to thebestinfayette.com and vote for Boatman Wealth Management as the best financial planning firm, we would appreciate your support. Voting only goes on for a couple of weeks here. And with your support, we're proud to be the winners of last year. We serve many of your neighbors and friends down here. Many of you read my financial column. I was in the local papers for 12 years. I had a weekly column, Your Financial Future. We've done this radio show now for 2 years. Financial literacy is very important. And anybody who is coming up to retirement, I know some people that are just retired from school districts, some people that are going to be retiring from the post office. And these people worked hard all their lives. They want to have the best financial future that they can. Most advisors are not fiduciaries, meaning they have to do what's in your best interest. Most do not talk about tax planning, and most do not coordinate all the many different things. You retire once. We've done many, many retirements. They all are a little bit different, but that's okay. They all have a lot of common denominators: taxes and Social Security, healthcare planning, legacy planning, and many, many other things. There's things that a lot of advisors, sometimes when we meet with somebody and we say, tell them about a solution, they say, why didn't my other advisor tell me about this? Maybe they weren't allowed to. Maybe they weren't licensed in certain areas. Some people have limited licenses. We have much broader licenses at Boatman Wealth Management. Some planners are captive. They're only allowed to talk about companies or things that their boss tell them to. We're independent. We're part of huge networks. And so we can get almost everything. There are some things that we won't get because we don't believe in them. But if we believe it's in your best interest and we believe that it makes sense, we have a wide variety. The banks and credit unions, their interest rates have gone down substantially. We've been able to get people 40% more than they can on some of those at some of those other institutions. So we want you to have your family declare its financial independence. And we can help you do that if you give me a call Monday at 724-684-6600. Today is a very, very special day in our nation's history. And I hope that you all enjoy it. We hope that you all stay safe, you and your family. And why not declare your own financial independence today by taking the steps necessary? It's not going to happen on its own. You've got to do something. The good news is we make it easy for you at Boatman Wealth Management. For 35 years, I've been a CFP, and we've been helping people. We specialize in retirement things, and we know the different options. We know solutions that many planners may not know. Why not let your family have the best chance of success possible? I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July. Keep it safe. Do the things you know to do. There's a lot of risk out there today, but you can make good choices. And a good choice for your family's financial future is to give me a call at 724-684-6600. I wish you and your family the best on this very special 4th of July.
The preceding program was recorded for playback at this time. WMBS time is 8:53. The daily obituary announcements are next.
Go to Ford of Uniontown and trade me in.
Uh-oh. Tom, did I hear them say that they had a check engine light on?
Jess, I heard someone say yesterday they had a strange noise.
It happens all the time.
And when repair bills start piling up, maybe it's time to stop fixing and start saving.
Right now, at Ford of Uniontown, it's employee pricing for everyone. That means you pay what we pay on